You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Back to Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire talking about the type of challenge he brings to the table.
Like Utah, you're going to get more quarterback design runs. You're going to get their option game. You know, they've always, since Lance has been there, had some kind of speed option or some kind of option in their offense. So you're going to get a little bit more quarterback design runs. You know, some the other night, you know, we talked about it this morning also. Some the other night, you know, our edge guys, as good as they're playing right now, they can't get pushed past the quarterback. They've got to counter. We got to do a better job with our interior rush, you know, because some of those the other night, they weren't design run quarterback runs. That guy was just really good at running the football, and he got pressured by the two edge guys, and he stepped up and took off. And so we've got to do a better job. We can't be independent rushers. We've got to work together. Probably got to do a few more games, not just this week, throughout, you know, to kind of mix some of that stuff up. It's harder for quarterbacks to run, quarterback draw, or to take off whenever you're doing that. But they're a little bit more similar to Utah as far as their quarterback run game.
Chris, got a dynamic QB coming up, and you already mentioned it this week. Wasn't lost some of those yards that Houston's QB was able to find when he was just making some things happen with his legs. So kind of interesting to be coming off of that and knowing what you're about to face as well.
Yeah, you know, if they were writing a book about Jalon Daniels, they would title it Unscripted. and that is the scariest part about these kinds of quarterbacks. Just because have a plan, we've bottled up what they want to do, but then he's just like, you know what? Give me that eraser. Let me just figure something else out. And it's all on the fly, and then it breaks down, and he's just good enough to make you pay at times. This is a quarterback that is going to make some plays. That's just who he is. You just have to limit that. He doesn't have the best cast of characters around him. I mean, we think they're going to be missing their starting running back, Daniel Highshaw. LaShawn Williams will be the guy that's been playing the last couple of weeks. He's a capable Big 12 back. You know, we've told you about Emmanuel Henderson, the Bama transfer, who's he can flat out fly. Not the biggest guy and all those things, but you're just going to have to pay attention to where he is down the field. They're missing a starting tight end that is now out for the year, that has been out for a couple of weeks, I think, and they've announced that he's out for the year. But that's why it's all about number 6, Jalon Daniels. I think he's just what can scare you, just because you can plan for it all, and he can still figure out a way to, you know, whether it's all based on his legs, and whether he keeps it or he's scrambling to extend the play, you know, to throw it. That's you know, that's what he's capable of, and so that's what gives you just a bit of pause. I don't envision a scenario where they could win this game if he's not a big part of it. If he just has a pretty good day or an okay day or less than that, I just don't see how they get it done. But if he has a big day and he's prone to having these, you know, you don't know what you're getting into here. So that's and as I pointed out the other day, and we were pointing it out during the broadcast the other night, David Bailey gave Houston so many rushing yards because he was whipping Dalton Merriman like he stole something. I mean, just like not even getting a hand on him. It's just like, boom, here I am. And he's like, I don't want any part of this. And Chris is just out. He's out the gate. And it was a couple of 10 or 12-yard gains, you know. And so you're going to have to be very disciplined with everything. This is also a team that is going to move a lot of personnel around with motions and shifts and a lot of eye candy. And it's the same base set of plays. They just dress it all up. They try to confuse you. They try to get you distracted. Hey, look over here. We're leaking somebody out over there. I mean, that's just the whole – so there's a lot going on here. It's That's why we talked about the film study and all the challenges that come with that. And now we're asking the crowd to be really loud on third down. If you're Joey, and they were talking about, we're trying to, need to be able to communicate with each other, but it'll be loud to try to communicate if you're on tech defense.
What do you make of Jalon Daniels and just kind of the profile of his college career to this point? I think he's about 35 years old, like his sixth season of college football. I thought it was interesting too. He's like a 500 50-50 guy, TD to interception a season ago. I think it was like 14 to 12, 15 to 12, 16 to 2, I believe, so far this season. So I don't even know quite what to make of him as a college quarterback to this point, other than dynamic. First, today's episode brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. We all make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. And with football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. You're going to love how easy and simple it is to use. And of course, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Download the Prize Picks app today and use our code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. With Prize Picks, run your game.
Here's what's interesting is that this is his sixth season in college football. He's dealt with a variety of injuries and missing the bulk of more than one season in total. This will be Lance Leipold's fourth time to play you, and yet it's going to be Jalon Daniels' first time to play you. I don't think he's ever taken a snap against Texas Tech. Back in 23, it was Jason Bean was the starter because Daniels was out, and then he got knocked out of the game, and then they were down to Cole Ballard was the kid's name. And so I don't feel sorry for any of this scenario because Texas Tech has dealt with their own QB injury issues. I think this is the best version of him. I think that, talking about Jalon Daniels, I think he's probably thought to be a late round draft pick. This isn't some physical freak like size or just lightning fast, but the combination of it, he's just very athletic, and now he's got a lot of experience. And as they have talked about in their camp, he's seen everything. He knows every sort of blitz and all that. And don't forget about this point too. He saw Houston's defense last year and Sheil Wood. He knows this style of defense. They may have a feel for how Coach Wood will adjust to certain things and all that. So don't forget about that game within the game. I don't know how much you will tweak or they will tweak, but it just comes down to your group of players versus Jalon Daniels, large in part. And their offensive line is not. This isn't Houston. Their offensive line is pretty good. They've got a couple of guys that I think that have a chance to play at the next level, and I don't know if their skill players are near as good as what you may see, but their one wideout is legit. And Daniel Highshaw would have been a name that people would have known too, but I'm gathering that he's not going to play this weekend, as they hope to get him back at some point. Is what Lance Leipold said.
Chris, any of their starting offensive linemen used to play for us before this year?
No, sir. Yeah.
Well, you can't get it that way every week, but I sure like the idea of every once in a while just shipping off guys that didn't do much for you to somebody you're playing the next season. That works out well. So I just may ask you that as we roll through this year, just as part of my scouting report. Chris, appreciate your time and the perspective as always, man. Enjoyed it, one step closer to getting back to the Jones in a big-time weekend. So looking forward to a few more rounds to chop it up with you on some episodes upcoming. We'll see you then.
I love all my double T's equally, like I love my children and my quarterbacks. But I'm the flat double T is my favorite. So I'll just leave you with that. Bang, bang. Guns up. We love you all.
Get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. Appreciate the everydayers for always being out there. and of course the Matador Mob. Hit the show notes and find the link to a free 14-day trial if you're interested in joining that crew. That's your direct line to Chris and myself with one-on-one text sent straight to your phone. For Chris, I'm Casey. Thanks as always for the time, and we hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.